This board, this is a model we call the Deep 6. This is a board I rode at Pipe this year. It's 5'11", and it's basically I was just trying to make a short board ride like a longer board. So I flattened the rocker, and I took the tail template basically from about here back is like a 6, I don't know, somewhere between a 6'8" and a 7'0", 6'10", something like that. So it's a pretty narrow tail. You know, if you just saw this tail laying on the ground, sticking out of a board bag, you'd think it'd be a long board. And then we just basically chop the nose off, and then the rocker is flattened. It's a much straighter rocker overall. But basically, I just wanted to make a small board that felt real stiff, and had less area, so I could just move the thing around where I wanted to. The other thing was we tried to hide some volume in the center. It's kind of a little bit of a rounded deck. It's probably about the thickness of my 610. So it's just putting certain design elements all together in a different way. The flatter rocker. We've tended to go, on our shorter boards, obviously more rocker over the years, so the boards are more maneuverable. So, this is kind of what I see as the next step for me. I don't know in the long run how well it translates or whatever, but, it seemed to work this time. This is really the first one we did. I designed this on the computer, then Al buffed it out, and I took it to Pipe.
Reconfiguring volume, that's, I guess, my real interest right now is how do I make, my dream was always to see someone like Kelly, because I'd sit at Pipeline and I'd watch him surfing, and I'd look at all the waves that was going by that they were never able to get to with their surfboards, and I thought, oh gosh, the guy was surfing on his feet, he could go all over the face, and so it just makes sense to me that using not less volume, but reconfiguring the volume so that you can still get into the wave, but it's short enough that it's not restricting you to go different places on the wave. And I'm sure that's the next phase of surfing.
And then that day, I actually wasn't really planning on riding this in the morning. I forget which board I was going to ride, but I didn't put the fins on that I would have normally ridden on this board, but they ended up working all right, so I guess it worked out. I put a longer, more raked fin on this board than I would normally ride in hollow waves. This is my K2.1. You can see it's got a pretty full tip on it. It's a real upright fin. It's not real raked back. Really designed to do sharp, short radius turns. So that's really the idea behind it. Even looking back now, I won Pipe, but I wished I had these fins in. I didn't have enough sets of them with me. So I always, in my thruster, I always use this back fin. I never change that back fin. And then depending on if the waves are more of a long wall, I'll ride my K3s, which is a more raked fin. And if it's a beach break or a hollow wave, I'll use these, which is just a more upright, short radius turn. So that's really the whole idea behind my designs of fins. Because I always use the same back fin, I'm used to the feeling what it's going to do when I do a turn, when I release. The idea between most any design you put in a board, whether you're shaping a board, making fins or whatever, you're going between control and maneuverability. Nothing's right or wrong, it's just what feels right to me.